Good morning. It's a beautiful Christmas day on the 25th of December 2023. Good morning and Merry Christmas to you.
No, nothing is going to dull the shine of this Christmas for me. Whether there's currency, there's no currency. This is me. I'm in all-party mode today. Nothing is going to take away from this Christmas. And I hope you have that determination as well. And that's the reason why I'm wearing this fascinator. Anybody who doesn't like it, they can go and suck a lemon today. That's their problem. Good morning and welcome. Merry Christmas. I'm Maupe Ogun Yusuf. Oh, what's happening with the Lagos people?
Well, I don't know.
Are they eating rice?
No, they're shocked. They're shocked. I mean, they're just wondering. Guys, I don't know if, do we have fascinators for men? I mean, one is Santa's hat or one is Santa's bed or something.
I don't know. I woke up.
This fascinator is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. From here, I know where I'm going to. So let's.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Can we tag along?
Of course.
You can get the Lagos guys to come along.
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas.
I don't know how they'll fly here, though. I don't know how they'll fly here.
I'm sure they'll find it. If Santa could go around the world distributing gifts one way or the other, I'm sure they can find their way to get to this place and join us for their hangout. But it's a good one. But while we're waiting for our colleagues in Lagos to come on board, Mark, it's been mixed, how do I say that, a potpourri of experiences for many this festive period. You mentioned a couple of the things that have been challenging. What's that? Scarcity of cash.
Let's not go there.
Okay, we'll not go there. The travel experiences have been very, very interesting.
50%, Uncle. Hold on. I saw you yesterday. You were talking to the spokesperson of the president.
Yes.
Did you ask him about the 50%?
Well, I asked him a question about what the president promised, to put Nigerians first. And in his answer, he says the president has not moved from that. So everything the president is doing, but why do I have to? Let's wait till 9 p.m. and watch the full conversation. Okay. Everything he's doing is targeted
at 9 p.m. But I know that there are people who are watching us right now, and they certainly want to know what it is that the president has in store. Because, well, this is Christmas, and oftentimes for Christmas, there are expectations.
Yes.
I know that the president also issued a statement wishing Nigerians well this season and asking us to look out for each other, to look out for our brothers and our sisters, that everybody could be going through something. And that is, while that is true, we particularly want to ask our leaders to look out for the people who have elected them to lead. And they want them to be able to lead in every single way, to lead them selflessly, to lead them sacrificially. This is the time when we're hoping that, they will be a little more sensitive to the plight of the people. But this is where we currently are. Naira is scarce. I still cannot believe it. I can't believe, they say that thing is here about lightning striking twice in a place. Is it thunder?
Thunder striking. But Mark, we're in Nigeria. Nigeria always makes history.
I can't believe this. I mean, how is it that Naira, we can't even get money to do offering in church? Are you for real?
Come on, look, man.
There are other ways to do it, eh?
Yes.
But the ceremonial thing is to stand up, dance, go to the altar and drop your thing in the basket. That's how we do it.
When the desired is not available, the available becomes desired. So what do? You take your device or your phone, whatever it is you used to do your transfers, and dance out.
And
when you get there, you click send, and it goes. The most important thing is that you've done your offering to the Most High, whom we're celebrating in this season.
Okay.
So you've done your offering, and you're happy about it.
Right.
Cash or, you said it here, cash or no cash. We have to celebrate. Someone said the celebration must go on. 50% discount or not. Oh, incidentally, some people went to the train stations and to the parks. We got to the parks and they were told that the 50%. It's been suspended, that it's only available for a certain route.
Yes.
And then for some others, our correspondent was out there in the motor parks yesterday. I was talking to some people who said it's available for certain routes and not for every route. So if you're not going that direction,
sorry.
Sorry.
It would have been great,
but the other thing is also at the train stations.
Yeah.
Many people went to the train stations to hopefully get a free ride. But they had to be turned back because the idea was that
You'll buy your ticket online.
your ticket online. That way, when you come, there's no stress. And those who got their tickets online were able to board the train and go to the different places they were going through. But then those who could not, I understand that in some places, you know, you would always find the bad eggs. They didn't get their tickets online and they got there and they found a way to wangle themselves through.
To get on the train.
And it is not helping the situation, not in any way.
Terms and conditions apply. You know, everything you say, when you see all those in those days when the networks Festival came, they had all of these promos.
Buy one, get one free.
Get one free. Bog off, this one,
bog on. Bog on.
All manner of things that they had, you know, but the fine print was always very important. T&C, terms and conditions apply. I think that's what, whenever it is you see a wolf anywhere, please always be patient enough to understand how it ought to be applied. Otherwise, you might be disappointed. That said, I think it would have been, you know, very instructive to hear, you know, some government officials, and it's been very difficult to get a hold of any one of them, to explain the rationale, you know, the thinking behind the 50%. It would have been great to hear how they came about it, to hear how they determined the routes, you know, what routes you enjoyed, what debates they had. Why did they think it would be better to give, you know, 50% rebate on travel, on, you know, through some areas and not other areas? Why didn't they think it would be better to give, say, fuel subsidy for this season? Why wouldn't it have been better to say, you know what, if you went to any NNPC station, you buy at this rate? You know, I'm just saying, why didn't they think that it would be better? Because even listening to some of the respondents whom our correspondent spoke with, that's the idea that they had. They said it would have been better if you gave everybody some money off petrol, because petrol is the one that has caused this. And petrol will most likely would have solved the problem, you know, if you had been able to reduce it. But I think there will be fears too, that, if we reduce the price of petrol, maybe
difficult to return it back.
One, and then two, maybe some people will keep the profits for themselves. They might not necessarily reflect it in the price of transportation. But these are the kind of thinking that we really need to hear sometimes, you know, whenever it is that a government policy is announced. Let us interrogate it. Well, you know, a lot of people will say, yes, we praise the intention. There needs to be a little more scrutiny into the understanding of how the policy, you know, eventually that particular one got through. Because I want to imagine that for every single government policy that sailed through, there were 99 others at the minimum that didn't. By that, I mean other ideas, maybe to reflect the same thing, because there should have been a process of rigorous debate and, you know, amongst those who eventually came up with that policy before they eventually decided that this was the way they were going to go, you know. So I've been very interested. I still think that's something that I still look forward to hearing, you know, how eventually, when we eventually decide whether this was a success or not. I sincerely hope that it will be a success, because people need every single discount that they can get. I understand that my co-travelers, our co-travelers are finding, were you eating rice? It's a bit early in the day to be eating rice. Don't you think so?
You know, they always say early to bed, early to rise, but this one is early to rise. Then, you can't stop us at our jollof rice, I bet you. Markwe, you are looking smashing. I mean, the fascinator gives me that reindeer vibe, you know, with the gold and stuff, but that is beautiful. As Neota said, we need to get something for the men.
Your fascinator is fascinating.
It's fascinating, right? But welcome to Lagos, guys. It is Christmas, so we're like the wise men. We're up early, ready to walk you. Wise men and woman, I'm sorry, I need to put that in, right? Ready to walk you through how we are here to ensure you have a fantastic day. Welcome to Sunrise Daily, on the Lagos side.
Yeah, I'm Ayo Makine. Good morning and welcome. And, you know, the only thing that, from what Neota and Markwe have been speaking about, it seems like you guys want the president to come out in some kind of Santa Claus attire this morning. You know, go around with his reindeers and his sleighs, just handing out hampers to people in the various parts of Nigeria.
I am picturing that. I tell you, it's not really working, but hey,
It's good to imagine.
I think, can we just make do with what we have?
I guess. And whatever it is that the government has rolled out should be properly communicated. Because I imagine it hurts for a lot of people who go to the train station and realize, oh, T&Cs apply. It's not for all the routes. Because the messaging that came out naturally sounded like, well, it's for wherever you're going to. So people that didn't even plan to travel that far thought, let's head to the train station. Since it's free, this our should not run belly, as they say. So I think it's important while we're trying to be, Father Christmas or President Christmas, as the case may be, to ensure that we put out the right messaging out there. Okay.
And also for us to spare thoughts for those we love and who love us. This morning, preparing for this program, I just thought about several people who will not be with their families for hours, some even for days during the season. The security agencies or security agents, policemen, soldiers, NDLEA, EFCC, as many of them as will be on the roads. We spare a thought for you this morning, and we wish you a Merry Christmas as well. Also, not to forget that we know that there are firefighters at work right now, electricity workers at work right now, health officials at work right now. We spare a thought for you, and we wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. One thing I'm not sure, though, Kayode, is whether or not they will have any 50% at work, any form whatsoever.
I think it's only fair, really, and that's an important point to raise. Whoever is sacrificing at this period should get something back. And may I say, we should open our doors, really, to people, who are sacrificing at this period. I'll probably be joining Maupe in that after program.
In the spirit or in the physical?
Don't worry.
What's important is that you join her.
We have our ways.
Okay. Because in that thinking, one of the, a lot of thoughts running through my mind about the way we should go about all of these things. And we're just hoping that at the end of the day, we're not just left to our imagination. We actually do share love, because that's what this season is about. It's a season of giving. It's a season of sharing love. Now that Nyota has begged to, what's the word now? Creole with Maupe this morning. Let's hope Maupe will be generous.
When last did I hear that word? No way. Guys.
Back to you guys.
I have begged Maupe to tag along, and I hope that Kayode will be able to make that flight and tag along as well. While you'll be locked out of the door. Don't worry, you can stay where you are. But talking about people that are also sacrificing, I mentioned everybody else, but he forgot to mention members of the Fourth Estate of the REM, our colleagues who are also out there reporting the different side, reporting in the conflict areas, reporting in the peaceful areas, reporting generally. Journalists, we want to also wish you a Merry Christmas. And Kayode, ways and means, you can use ways and means to join us when we finish the show and we have to step up. But don't, I'm not going to explain no ways and means. Kayode says they have their way. He said it about ways and means. So having said that, let's go on real quick and look at what some of the dailies are saying today, being Christmas. And I'll start out with the Vanguard newspaper. Hard choices. High prices ruin Christmas for Nigerians. That's what the Vanguard's leading with. And see the writers, price increases range from 50% again, range from 50% to more than 100%. Consumers shift to cheaper brands, reduced quantity. Traders cite subsidy removal, Naira depreciation for price increases. That's a paper I'm looking at, the Vanguard newspaper. The Nigerians go for beef as price of chicken soars. I was talking to my mom, and she said, I hope you guys are going to eat rice. You know that growing up, it's only Christmas time that you cook rice. I said, yes, Mom, we're going to eat. We're going to eat plenty of rice this season. Apart from, all the other rice you eat before Christmas is not rice. It's the one you eat at Christmas that is rice.
Now that you've clarified.
Yeah. So check page 7 for more details on that. Then you see that picture in Kano. It says, Kano welcomes Governor Yusuf from, I don't know where he went to, but there he's being welcomed in that picture. But beside that, sad, Nigerians are celebrating Christmas on empty stomachs. LP, page 9. Catholic bishops to political leaders, Maupe, you mentioned that, but see this, adjust your lifestyle to economic realities. And that's one of the questions I asked the president's spokesman about. I mean, the president's telling us to adjust. How is he adjusting as well? What's going on? A bloated or a large cabinet, larger than before? What's going on? And of course, he'll tell you specialization. Details of that 9 p.m. Tinubu to Nigerians. Be your brother's keepers. It's on page 5, but see the writers. Says, my reforms for prosperous nation have unique sacrifices. That's the word. Pledges to govern with empathy. Obi seeks special prayers for Nigeria. It's on page 5. Please permit me to read Mr. and Mrs. It's a Monday, but it's Christmas.
I hope they're...
Mrs. says, yes, I agree that last year's Christmas turkey was bigger and less expensive than this year's. But what's the difference? You used the toothpick after eating last year's turkey. You're doing the same now. So whether it's cheaper or more expensive, you still use the toothpick. But that's it from the Vanguard newspaper.
I'm going through the front pages, and I want to say, can we just skip paper review today? I'm trying not to... I don't want us to be depressed. We're going to celebrate this Christmas. Never mind. Never mind how bad it is. But hey, this is what The Guardian, I mean, even they have this lovely Christmas ribbon on the front page of The Guardian on their masthead this morning. But look at unusual Yuletide as cash crunch, unaffordable prices, mar celebration. That's what you see right there on page 6 of the paper. Unusual Yuletide as cash crunch, unaffordable prices, mar celebration. You also see a breakdown of some of the prices from May 2023 to what you now see in December 2023. As at May 2023, a bag of rice was 27,000 naira, is now 68,000 naira. All the things you need to just make a lovely pot of jollof rice. If you look at everything, especially, maybe not beans. Beans now, if you want moi for your jollof rice to accompany your rice, a bag of beans has gone from 22,000 naira to 65,000 naira. So it's just incredible. The only thing you see here that has not gone up so much is groundnut oil, 29,000 naira to 33,000 naira. And then when you now look, I mean, they were not satisfied with just telling you that there's cash crunch. They actually took a picture of an ATM machine and put it right here. And this is a message that a lot of ATM machines are reading across the country. Temporarily unable to dispense cash. You want to perform another transaction. That's what you're seeing on the front page.
What's the other transaction? Check your balance.
I don't know. It's really annoying sometimes.
No, the other transaction is check your balance or do a transfer. That's the only other thing you can do there.
End of story. So let's make do with the transfers if we can do it. In some ways,
if the networks will let you.
If the networks will, that's another thing, The amount of, I hope that they've been able to expand their networks. But the amount of failed transactions we're also getting is also not very cheery news. They have other stories right here for you. NDLEA seizes 7.5 million tramadol pills, 95,400 codeine bottles. The story is on their Metro page. Federal government condemns attacks on Borno Yobe electricity infrastructure. So bad people are certainly not resting on their oars. Now, while we have commended everybody who's working or commended secure essential services, as a matter of fact, who are working in this season, we forget those who are working in the tourism sector. They make, because a lot of people want to go to fun spots. A lot of people want to be able to relax during the holidays, and they want to go out. They forget that there's these people who are working in these places who's going to make it fun for them. So you go to a restaurant, you go to a hotel, you go to the people who are working to keep those places running in this season. And to those people, too, we say Merry Christmas. Yeah. I'm going to have to leave it there. Just before I do, look at this. Emefiele breaks silence on looted funds kept in foreign banks. The story is on page 2 of the paper. The president is also reported here. Tinubu seeks support, promises more interventions to ease hardship. That is also right there. Let's leave it there for the Guardian newspapers.
Look at New Telegraph this Christmas morning, and this is what you find. National security, over 50,000 troops on duty for Yuletide. That's according to the Chief of Army Staff, and it speaks to what we started off with, those people sacrificing across board. These are some of them, 50,000 troops on duty for Yuletide, and it's for security, right? So you can stay at home with your family to enjoy Christmas. So don't just spare a thought for them. Let's go beyond just sparing a thought for them and really do something.
Is there
by them.
anything we are doing as a nation now to ensure that those families do not miss their loved ones who are at work for us? I would love to look at that story and be able to tell whether or not indeed we're not, as you said, just sparing a thought in our heads. We actually thought about giving those families some things. And yes, guys, you're right. You know, there are several other people who are working. Should we also add conductors and those in the transport sector?
Very important, right?
And the fuel station attendants, you know.
Because the bus will not fill itself. You need those guys.
So, yeah, but, you know, it's very important for us to consider this is a very, very important one for us, especially when we know that, on the one hand, the president is going around asking for foreign direct investment. When they come, it's only security, a secure environment that can secure the businesses.
And so their sacrifices wouldn't be in vain.
Absolutely.
So, yet again, we acknowledge all of that hard work and sacrifice. Looks like there might be some spanner in the wheel of my plan to join Malquet this morning. I see that one on top, just in that red, ticker. Flight delays, cancellations take joy out of air travel.
Don't forget what Nyota said.
Ways and means.
Yes, exactly.
When we break ways and means down, it comes out to either train.
No, it's either ways or means.
I don't think I understand what ways and means this morning. But, that is a tale of a lot of people traveling during the Yuletide. We already had challenges with the aviation sector, and you now know, you see the pressure now. I heard about a particular airline that had to use a wide-body aircraft to convey people from Abuja to Lagos, and I'm talking about the kind of aircraft that takes international flights. Yes. They had to essentially convert it for local flights. So just imagine how many people will be on the flight, 3 rows, 343, and yet their flight was still delayed for hours. So that's what we have there on the front page. I'll give you just one more, and this is from the president. It says, we'll continue to implement palliatives to ease burdens on vulnerable. That's from President Tinubu. A couple more stories really for you, but hey, that's the New Telegraph.
The Nigerian Observer is also celebrating this morning. On the masthead of the Nigerian Observer, you have a Santa hat, because I don't want to say Santa Claus. So there's that. And then there's the green there, meaning it's a Santa in Nigeria, I guess. But hey, what do I know? Look at the lead story of the Nigerian Observer. In Christmas message, Tinubu admits his policies impose hardship on Nigerians. Pleads for patience. Marco, I'm going to join you this morning and say no depression. So I'll skip to the story right beside the nameplate. Obaseki felicitates Edo people, Nigerians, at Christmas. Details of that you'll find on page 2 of the Nigerian Observer this morning, and right above the nameplate. Edo Health Insurance Commission assures universal coverage for citizens and residents. Only good news this morning, Marco, I agree with you. That's the Nigerian Observer today.
Indeed, and let's look at what Daily Trust is saying here. And yes, they have a little bit of a Christmas deck on top of Daily. He's wearing a Christmas hat there. But if you come below that, the stories are not so exciting. Emefiele Sue's investigator denies opening 593 foreign accounts. Report indicting me satanic, defamatory, ex-CBN Gov. Says Buhari approved Naira redesign, demands a thorough, transparent investigation. That's what Daily Trust is leading with. Above that, crack at NGF Secretariat over alleged fraud. Spokesman demands probe. NGF, that's Nigeria Governors Forum. There's a crack there. Alleged fraud. Spokesman demands probe. Check page 12. Indeed, not so good. 16 killed in Fresh Plateau attack. That's on page 8. You go there for details. At the bottom, Street Pay had this one. At Christmas, Expect prosperity soon, Tinubu tells Nigerians. National Assembly leaders, governors preach peace, sacrifice. Let's unite for Nigeria's greater good. Coming from former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Go to page 6 and 7 to get more details on that. That's it from Daily Trust.
Well, I'm taking a look at Nigerian News Direct this morning, and they have this: will continue to implement palliative measures to ease burden of vulnerable Nigerians. That's according to the President, Tinubu. You also see right there, LP berates federal government, says Nigerians are celebrating Christmas on empty stomach. So that's the story right there. You also see, okay, this is not good. Lagos Sales Club Quilox over noise pollution. That's right there as well. Newspapers to review cover price, not to drink and drown your sorrows. Remember that there is a reason for the season and it cannot be to... Anyway, let us not even get it. I'm not the one to preach this morning. I'm not the one to give the sermon. So let's just do whatever it is that we do. Celebrate responsibly in this season, bearing in mind that you also have to, bear responsibility for your brother. Let's leave it there for Nigerian News Direct.
I mean, you can't say that enough, Mark. Very important to be responsible. Take a look at Daily Independent, though. We will soon emerge into a new dawn of prosperity, Tinubu reassures on palliatives to ease burden on the needy. So that's the big story. And you see RSA holders receive 137 billion naira from over 29,000 employers. RSA, by the way, is the pension scheme. Just in case you're wondering, is that Rivers State Assembly or what have you? Essentially, it is retirement savings accounts. That's what RSA means there for you. So, are you one of those? I hope so. Well, Serap is perhaps not on the Christmas break, because you can see there's a Serap story suing NNPC over Nigeria's daily oil production and exportation. So, can we say Serap is one of the, or people at Serap are one of the people sacrificing during this period?
No, we can't say that.
Because they're obviously still working.
It's a story. Whatever happened before or is about to happen, I just put a statement out.
I've heard people say Serap's work rate is quite impressive. You just, before Nigerians think about it, Serap has taken a move, but very important.
But it's a very good thing that at least there is some institution committed to accountability so strongly that they always make sure to bring our attention to the fact that this thing is not right. And one of the things that a number of people would also point to is the fact that most of these issues that are raised by the likes of Sarah, budget, code, and the rest of them, they're usually issues around constitutionality, legality, and all those things. So what would also be nice is to have similar kind of responses from the authorities. There is the Freedom of Information law for a reason. So if those information don't come out,
something just dropped in my mind right now. So a lot of people want a Christmas present, right? But do we ever think, what kind of Christmas present can we give our nation, Nigeria? After all, it is our nation, Nigeria. So how about we as citizens begin to take up these issues even further? Yes, Serap has sued NNPC over Nigeria's daily oil production, exportation, and the rest. So let's take it to our lawmakers, take it to people in government as individuals, essentially ensure that we are all a part of this, so we don't just wait for Serap to take this case up. Let us as citizens also take the case up, because it is for our nation, Nigeria. If Nigeria gets better, we'll all be better for it. So let's give that as a Christmas present to our nation.
So
is that fair enough?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's decrypt Nigeria. Okay?
Yeah.
Nigeria is 10 members of staff that every Nigerian has. The councillor, the deputy chairman of the local government chairman, the member of the House of Representatives, the deputy governor, the member of the House of Representatives, the senator, the vice president, and the president.
Isn't that 11?
Oh, it's 11. Okay, good. So
I'm not sure, though. Christmas, my math might be a bit shaky, but yeah, fantastic point, actually.
Every Nigerian has at least 10 members of staff who are servicing them as far as Nigeria is concerned. So when the Nigerian talks about Nigeria, Those are the people that are representing them. Now, with that in mind, can we take these issues that Clergy has suggested to the doorstep of each one of them? Because most of them are at home now, right?
Yeah.
So take the matter to each one of them and say,
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Absolutely. What do you think, right? Let us know. It's something we need to do for our nation, Nigeria. And I'm glad that we're raising these issues while everybody's, resting the Yuletide mood. But let's do that for the Daily Independent, I guess.
But I think it's also important to say that while we are facilitating.
It's okay. It's a Christmas celebration. I understand.
As we say on the streets, Sokunos Rironus.
Okay.
It is where you are. While you are crying, you should still have your eyes open.
Oh, I see. Okay. That's a new one. That's a new one. You forgive us, it's Christmas, right?
Absolutely. This Nigerian newspaper is also with us this morning. And that's trending story that's been making the rounds. And some clarity needs to come from that one. But look at what it says on the lead of this Nigerian newspaper. Blessings for same-sex couples, signs of end time. What does that mean? The details you'll find on the inside pages. Religious leaders denounce Pope's announcement on matter. Task parents on proper upbringing of wards. As I said, a number of people are still questioning whether or not that actually happened. But right beside the nameplate, how coups, climate, cost of living shaped 2023 in Africa.
The 3 C's.
That's an interesting one.
Coups, climate,
climate,
and Christmas.
Coups, climate, costs.
Then 3 C's affected 1 C. The other 3 C's affected Christmas, which is also a C. Give it to the editor who couched that story. That's a good one.
It's a good one, right? And of course, they are also celebrating Christmas with a beautiful image on the front page, wishing esteemed readers Merry Christmas. Tinubu at Christmas. I will not let Nigerians down. Akpabio, Bamidele, Musa, Sanwo-Olu, others urge Nigerians to be steadfast despite subsidy pains. I don't know the number of years. I can't recall the number of years that we've heard it said, manage what you have in Christmas and all of those things. I've been hearing Nigerians should buckle up since the 80s.
You can almost predict the press statements from government at this time. But as you said, can we say the same of them? And it's important to show those workings, as they say. It's not enough to just tell us, show the workings. Let Nigeria see the workings. That's why we talked about CNG, and we asked, has the president converted his fleets to CNG, the ministers and all of that? If you're encouraging Nigerians, so why don't you lead by example and show that at least we're not burdening, our government's budgets and by extension people by those spendings. But
Clergy, when we talk about it, in recent time we've been talking a lot about the CNG and all of that. This conversation started well before COVID.
True, I remember that.
And I also remember that it was in, I think, is it 2020 or 2021, that the government of the day came up with what they call the Economic Sustainability Plan.
You remember that?
Oh, I could never forget.
One of those many plans. Yes.
And prominent among those things was the CNG program. And it was going to go up something in the region of 93 billion at the time. How far so far? Okay, so maybe one of those questions should be taken to our staff.
Sorry, we're not trying to down your Christmas, okay? We just want to ensure we have a better nation for us all.
All right, that's this Nigerian newspaper this morning. And an end at a look at some of the dailies. We're right back after now.
With your jollof rice. Sorry, what are we back with?
Cocoa. Coffee.
Another issue.
Whichever one. We'll be right back, though.
We'll begin the conversation. It's Christmas, and who best to talk to us about Christmas but a clergyman who is joining us from Calabar. He's the Anglican Bishop of the Diocese of Calabar, Right Reverend Professor Nel Yegbe. Thank you for joining us, Your Lordship.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Merry Christmas to you all.
Thank you. We do know that you've been with us since the show started. You joined us at 7, but of course the world gets to see you now. But let's start off real quick. Christmas is something that happens every year, and we all gather the festivities, the mood, and all of that. But tell us, what is Christmas really about? Is it just about the birth, or celebration of the birth of Jesus?
Okay, Christmas is the season set aside to, celebrate the love of God to mankind as expressed in the coming of his son, Jesus.
Okay, Your Lordship, we will come back to you in a moment. We'll just take a moment and we'll get back to this conversation about Christmas. I'm sure, Mark, we can't wait to really get into this day. But we'll be back in a moment to get into this. Just stay with us. And we're back to continue our conversation with Right Reverend Professor Nell Yegbe, who joins us from Cross River State, Calabar. He's the Anglican Bishop of the Diocese of Calabar. Thank you, Bishop, for speaking with us. So you were answering the question about what Christmas really is all about.
Yes, thank you very much. I was saying that Christmas is a season when we celebrate the love of God to mankind. The coming of God to man. The whole essence is hidden in the fact that humanity failed God and fell into sin, and God, out of his love, decided to send his son, who is the express image of himself, to rescue mankind from death and the effects of sin. So Christmas is that time of the year which has been set aside to celebrate God's love. Many people have different interpretations and different reasons for celebrating, but the real thing is to celebrate, appreciate, and enjoy the love of God, which has come to man in this season.
So the arguments by some people about Jesus not really being born on December the 25th, are you saying that's not tenable?
Like I said earlier, people have come from different backgrounds and they believe different things. But it is not about the date and timing of his birth for some of us. I believe that the essence of his birth is more important than the date. I mean, it doesn't matter if someone was born in a particular time of the year, provided he was born. And we need to understand why he came in the first instance. If he had to come in the form of man, then he needed to be born as a human being. And when he was born is not of importance, because it doesn't add anything to whether he fulfilled his purpose for which he was born or not. So when people begin to argue about the time and so on, for me, it is irrelevant. What is important is that he was born at all. And then he lived on to fulfill the purpose for which he came.
2023 has been a political year. So when you say that it doesn't matter when the person was born, all that matters that the person was born, the essence of the birth. I was just going to say something around the politics that we have seen play out this year. But let's move away from all of that. That's just an aside. And focus on the season. We know that year in, year out, we always look forward.
You see, God. Sorry, I didn't get you.
I was just about to ask the question I was going to pose to you. I was just making an aside over the fact that you say that the actual date is not really important, and just some of the debates that have gone on this year of politics, 2023. Especially with regards to Nigeria's election. But let's move away from there and look at, how it is that we welcome the Christmas season. Children, right from when they're small to when they start to grow, have had different expectations and different memories of, just what the Christmas season, because now it has now gone beyond a day. It looks like we now have a full season in which we celebrate Christmas. For you, when you look at, the birth of Jesus, and you look, if you can reflect on how the Bible reports it, and just how human beings have celebrated over the years. Would you say that we have focused more on, we focused less on what is really important and focused more on what is not important?
Thank you for that question, because underneath that issue is the very essence of the Christmas itself. We all grew up looking forward to Christmas. I heard somebody say earlier, talking about Christmas rice being the only rice that was significant in a whole year. But truth be told, we have moved away from celebrating the essence, the real reason for the celebration, to just celebrating. A couple of years ago, I read a write-up. I can't exactly remember who put that up, about a child who had a vision that the people were celebrating Christmas in a room. And everybody was merry and really, really happy. But that child looked through the window and saw, according to that story, and saw Jesus Christ standing by the window, shaking his head. And what came to the child, a little child of about 12 years old or so, she said she just felt, how can we be celebrating the birthday of someone and the person is outside? So if you look around us, this is what we have focused on largely. And it doesn't really bring to fulfillment the purpose for which the Lord came. But be that as it may, I think it's better we celebrate at all than not celebrate at what God has done for us. Because at least it reminds us that we are loved by God. It reminds us that we should love one another. It reminds us that there is a purpose for which God put us where we are. I think for that reason, even though for most of us the celebration is just a celebration, we should keep celebrating. One day, I believe that God will open the eyes of some to understand the essence of what we are celebrating. I think that's all I'll say to that.
How would you suggest that we go back to the essence of the celebration? How would you suggest that we remember that this is about the birth of a savior who came to die for the sins of mankind? How do you suggest that we go back into focusing? I mean, especially Christians, because it is, even though yes, we also have brothers and sisters who wish Christians well in this season. But I want to imagine that your message will be focused more on the people who say that they are celebrating. How would you say that they imbibe the essence of the season in this period?
Okay, thank you very much. Truly, yes, everybody celebrates Christmas, even the non-Christians do. But for us who are Christians, to go back to the essence of it, we need to continue to teach, because much of what is going on today is because people just pick up what they see, what is easy to come by, without proper teaching and proper guidance. So the onus is on the church to teach and continue to teach. As many as seek answers should come to the church and hear these answers, or hear the answers from the airwaves, just like we are talking now, and other channels, and then learn. The more we teach by our speaking, by our conversations, and by our lifestyles, many will come to understand what Christmas is truly about, and gradually we'll go back. It's not something we'll have an omnibus, return to what it is, but it's something that happens by the interactions and the experiences of one person at a time. As people come to know the Lord Jesus, they understand why he came, they understand what he is about, and they understand what their own purpose on earth is. So we need to continue to teach. We need to continue to live our lives in a manner that suits the person we claim to follow. That's Jesus Christ, the Son of God. If we live to please him and live to show to the world that his nature and character is in us by the working of his Spirit, then people will come to understand Christmas is not about just the partying, the eating and drinking, but about God coming to man, not just the earth as a place, but coming into the lives of every individual man to dwell in us and to live out the life he desires to live through us. That's my answer to that.
Well, one of the things that we see every Christmas in, Christmas out, not just Christmas, also other celebrations, at the economics. I mean, we cannot wish away the economy. I mean, you've talked about how we celebrate, and you say, well, it's important for us to continue to celebrate. That maybe one day, the essence, our eyes will be opened. Some of those who said celebrating, their eyes will be open to the essence of why it is that they're celebrating. But we see that even the celebration right now is getting more and more difficult for many, many families. It's very difficult for people to even go and celebrate with their loved ones, which is one of the things that they like to do in this season. Now, for Christians who are finding it a bit difficult in this season and maybe are really bothered about the economy in general, how would you say that they imbibe the spirit of Christmas despite the difficulties that they're facing?
Well, I will respond to that in this manner. I think the whole idea of having lost the essence is the reason we make this period what it is. If we know what Christmas is about, whether I have rice to eat or not, that every day of the year, 365 days in a year, I have a meal or 2 or 3 for those who can afford it, is sufficient to thank God for. That shows God's love is, it flows every day. There's a hymn writer that said, new every morning is thy love. And that is true. But if we look at Christmas as the only time when we must spend and do all sorts of things, travel and so on, or show love, then it all boils down to the fact that we have lost the essence of it. But I think for us who are Christians, that we are alive to celebrate Christ's love for us should be of prime importance. And we should be joyful no matter the state of our economy, no matter who is coming on and who is not coming on, no matter who is in charge. One thing is clear, no matter the times and seasons, God is still in charge. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. So anybody who looks at the economy and says, well, because I have no money to buy chicken. Incidentally, yesterday a woman came to me and was saying the price of chicken in town is between 15 to 20,000. How can she afford one? And I told her, you don't need to eat chicken. If chicken is not affordable, look for fish or snail. So these are options that are there. Anything to make you joyful and to help you share the love of God. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be so big. But we are making it look like the time of the year when we must spend money. And I don't think that is healthy. I think the government also does that because we only decorate the streets of our cities during that season, which is fine. But we should also keep our cities clean, keep the streets taken care of. I drove out a little bit last night and I noticed security operatives were everywhere trying to guard, which is lovely for our city because over the past few years we've had a lot of insecurity issues down here. And I really commend the government for doing that. But it's not only at Christmas that this should be. I read a headline that over 50,000 security operatives are all over the place because of the Yuletide season, which is good. But what about after the Yuletide? Will we go back to insecurity? So we shouldn't just restrict our rejoicing, our living for God, our turning to God to Christmas season. It is only a season, but God wants us to live continually in that love that He has given.
Thank you so much.
It came down at Christmas as we sing in the, but it does not at Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Right Reverend Professor Neri Igbe, Anglican Bishop of the Diocese of Calabar. Thank you for the message of Christmas and for joining us this morning. We wish you and everyone out there a very Merry Christmas. Thank you once again.
Merry Christmas.
We'll take a moment and we'll be back to look at something else still around Christmas. To stay with us. Every end of the year is usually a busy period at the Otako Motor Park and other motor parks in Abuja. Passengers take advantage of the season to travel to see their loved ones. But the situation is different this year, as some motor parks in Abuja recorded low patronage due to the effect of fuel subsidy removal and the scarcity of Naira notes. Our crew visited some motor parks to assess the situation firsthand and also to find out if the 50% discount announced by the federal government is being implemented. Workers at the parks maintained sealed lips as it prevented our crew from taking shots of the parks. They, however, claim off-camera that there was partial implementation of the discount, while others say the implementation is yet to take effect as the passenger turnout remains low. At the Jabi Motor Park, these vehicles are headed to the far north and northwest part of the country. But the travelers lament the failed attempts to implement the 50% discount approved by the transport companies.
They promise us that there is all those things, but we didn't see it. They are all lines because we don't see anything. I wish you see all these things. How person will come on 12,000 naira to come and pay this one instead of 15%. We don't see it. It's only this one we're managing. That's why we come here in this around 9 o'clock this morning. See where we are. Nobody come outside because there is no money.
I didn't see any cut off from anywhere because the cost is still the cost of transportation is still high. So I didn't see any cut from it. So that is why even when I find out that, I said, no, let me just cut it off.
Some others think the fuel subsidy should have been reinstated instead of a fair discount that did not involve all transport companies.
If one duty do all over, it's better to reduce subsidy for the money, you remove for a problem. Carry for a call like 250 or 300, everybody will enjoy the matter. But this is a do for this one, do for this one, do for that. You don't go there happy. Even me and you go there different. Maybe you go get, me I no go get. But if they do the thing uniform, you reduce for scarcity, you reduce for people. Driver went buy for like 250, 300, no more. You go feel reduce money for the passenger also.
Everything that we are seeing inside this transport now, all is going to fuel place. We don't have anything for this transport that we are inside now because of costing fuel.
Despite the situations, POS operators and other business owners continue their trade. Holidays provide people the opportunity to travel and visit with family and friends. But the cash crunch and economic situation, no doubt, has affected the celebration mood, reducing the number of those willing to travel.
Babatunde Farinlore joins us this morning. He is the FRSC Sector Commander for Lagos State Sector Command. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Merry Christmas.
I wish you the same.
Does this look like it's a happy one?
You probably don't get to hear that a lot because you're always working during Christmas.
Always working, always on the road.
And your men are certainly on the roads themselves now, right?
Definitely.
Any special preparation for those of them who are at work right now for Christmas, in the spirit of Christmas?
Yes, we have been getting a kind of support from generous stakeholders, from state governments, from other stakeholders. And that we have distributed to them. And that's what they will use in celebrating the Christmas for the year.
Good. I don't think it will be too many, right? So
never.
If you
so keep it coming.
Keep them coming, not just to this Lagos State Sector Command, but to as many of them all over the nation as there are. But, that report that we put out, about experiences that people have had in concerning traffic, any incidences around that from your reports you got?
Really, we have been moving around, and I realized that there's an improvement in virtually everything concerning traffic management this year. The traffic volume is not as much as it used to be.
Really?
Not as much as it used to be.
Well, that's news to me because I was going out on Saturday morning, and the traffic that I saw was quite huge.
It was huge. It's normal characteristics of the period is to have an upsurge in the traffic volume, but this year it's not as much as last year. Maybe because of the price of the PMS.
Okay.
As at yesterday, the road was as free as if there was an holiday. So, however, there were pockets of conflicts, collision, crashes, but to God be the glory, they were not fatal, and there was no serious injury in all these crashes that we recorded. That is the joy of what we have been able to do. This was made possible by the kind of preparation we had before the Christmas. We have gone around to ensure that aside the enforcement we are doing presently, we have gone to enlighten people, to educate people. We embark on free vehicle safety checks. We have been doing what we call evaluation engineering. We did road safety audits. We passed the report of the audits to approach authority for remedial solution and many other things. Those things have been yielding dividend, and that's why we have reduction in the fatality index this year.
You know, there's that trend that during Yuletide, during celebrations, you tend to see some sort of rise, uptick in car crashes and the rest. So what exactly is the psychology behind the season, behind the period? I know people say Ember month and the rest, and they say there's a certain spiritual angle to it. But I know that you see the figures, you see the data, and you, of course, do investigations into why exactly these road mishaps happen. I'm saying this to help road users at this time. Perhaps things they may not have paid attention to before now. Maybe this might help them pay attention to it. So is it spiritual? Is it an Ember month thing? Or there's really some psychology at work? Maybe people get to lose guard because they're excited and all. So people on the road can pay attention more based on the information you give them.
No, there's nothing spiritual about Ember month. It's just a kind of delusion. It's a figment of imagination of the school of thought that believes in that. Normally, during this period, there's always a spike in the traffic volume as a result of increase in economic activities. Lagos is the economic hub of the country, and it's a gateway to the Western world where we get all our products. So I will expect that people will be coming to Lagos and people will be moving out of Lagos. So there'll be increase in movement, increase in population, vehicular movement, and human movement around the city. Because of this, there are possibilities of, like I said, conflicts, collision, crashes, because the traffic volume is very high. Everybody's impatient, and that impatience is part of what we try to work on before this Christmas. That borders on attitude. People will not plan their journey very well. They just jump onto the road, and before you know what's happening, they're in a hurry to get to where they are going. So we have worked on that. We have gone around the worship centers. We have gone around the parks. We have met critical stakeholders. We have talked to our members of the RTSS, that's the Road Transport Safety Adaptation Scheme, and then we have been able to to get their buy-in into what we're preaching. Presently, you can see that the pressure is not so much because the awareness is there.
It's interesting when you say that the pressure isn't so much and that the roads are free, because there are some people, since you are in charge of the Lagos state sector of the Road Safety Commission, are those who would point to areas like Lekki axis and the rest of them saying that they are not having it easy because of traffic, Badagry axis as well, even though there's been a slightly improved road work and all. They're still having their issues here and there. Lekki Ekpe axis, as I said, and a number of... you want to speak to us about those areas as well?
I agree with you. Last year when this corridor was under construction. We experienced hectic traffic situation. That's the same thing they're experiencing along Lekki axis now. Construction is still ongoing. So they need to be patient, and we need to be obedient, to obey traffic rules and cooperate with the traffic managers along that axis so that we can have easy movement. A situation where people are impatient and they don't obey traffic managers that are on the road, the traffic become very hectic, and that is what is happening along that side. By the time the construction will be over, I think to become a thing of the past.
You know,
the same thing with that of Badagry.
Yeah, it might be a little tricky to, important as what you have said is people appeal to people to be patient and all. It might be a little tricky because generally the trust deficit is quite low between government and the people. So anyone who is wearing any government, anything with government insignia, they hold them with, a bit of caution. Is this man sincere and all of those things? So how do you communicate to people about the need for them to be patient, even though there is a need that they know, but the trust level is low?
Whether it's low or high, all I know is that we need to be patient. We experience the same thing along this Lagos-Badon corridor. And I came out to tell people, the motorists, that we need to be patient. And today, we're experiencing quality travel time along the corridor. So there is no way I can say that you should not be patient. We will still be patient. That's just it.
I've heard this at some point. You need to be patient so you don't become a patient. But that's just by the way. I know we can talk about just how well, I would say, educated the average road user is. I'm talking about the driver,
yes, regarding,
traffic rules, even about the vehicle the person is using. And perhaps you can give us some points to note before you get into your vehicle, the things you need to check to ensure. I know you've talked about expired tires, you've talked about even overspeeding, which you expect to be basic things that drivers will learn before they get their driver's license and all of that. So maybe we can talk about some of those things we need to pay attention to particularly. But I have noticed this, and I'd like you to speak to it. When I saw, the core talking about expired tires, I just realized that there's also another trend. People buying winter tires that they use in other climes during winter, exactly, and then they import them into Nigeria, and people buy them fairly used tires, and you can see on the tires the snow sign, obviously used during winter. And I've seen a lot of people actually driving with those tires, and I tend to ask them, do you know this is winter tire? Do you know that this is something they use, maybe let's say in other climes during winter, and then when the winter is over, they change their tires back to normal, yes, tires? So we've talked about expired tires, but does that also pose a danger? Because it looks like these tires are cheaper to purchase. Do winter tires pose a danger here in Nigeria if Nigerian road users use them for their vehicle?
Actually, road safety is against the issue of all these Tokumbo tires. We don't allow people, we don't encourage people to use Tokumbo tire. And a crash occurred yesterday along this, very close to, between Otedola and former toll gate. It was as a result of tire bursts. And at the end of the day, the vehicle rammed into another vehicle, and then they somersaulted, and no injury, but the vehicles were seriously damaged. So we don't encourage people using all these Tokumbo tires.
Whether it's winter tire, what have you.
Whichever one. We don't encourage it.
So what do you encourage?
We encourage people should buy new tires. And then before now, we have embarked on a kind of educational sensitization on the issue of tires. We had a seminar on tire, and we came out to tell people, when you see certain codes, all those information on the side wall of the tire, they are not there for decoration. They are passing messages to people. When you see M plus S, when you see P, when you see T, all those things, they mean different things. We try to decode those things and tell them that the snow tire that you see, they are not meant for our climate. This is a tropical region. And these ones that are meant for temperate region cannot be used in tropical region. So but Nigerians don't care about all these things. So the onus is on the Standards Organization of Nigeria and National Automotive Council of Nigeria to ensure that they don't allow this type of product to enter into the country, so as to protect our citizens, because ignorance in this part of the country is so much.
Are those products banned by anyone from coming into the country?
No, even if it is banned, if there is no proper enforcement on it, it will still enter into the country.
The reason I ask that question is so that people can even understand that, look, you are using contrabands. I mean, if you know that the particular product that you are using has been banned from coming into the country, at least.
Banned, in theory, banned. Okay. But in practice, I have been seeing them in the market, open markets.
I just want to be clear. So, Tokunbo tires have been banned from coming into the country?
Yes.
Since when has it been banned?
Well, I cannot recall, but I know that it has not been. We don't encourage Tokunbo tire coming to the country, but I don't know since when. Okay. And I cannot say authoritatively how the ban came into force, but I know that we have been preaching against it, and it is as expected. We expect that the authorities in charge of the enforcement should be able to do the needful and ensure that they don't allow those expired tires to come into the country.
Now, good thing you also now mentioned expired tires, because as we speak, with all of the information, all of the education and everything, people don't even still know that there are tires that expire. How does a Nigerian, for instance, know when a tire has expired before or after they bought it?
Yeah, if you look at the sidewall of a tire, there's a circle with 4-digit number. You can see, let's say 10, 22. For instance, that 10 means the 10th week in the year 2020. That was the day the tire was manufactured. And then you start counting. After 4 years, the tire has expired. Even if it's still new, it has expired. So we go around the churches, we go around the mosque, we go to park to talk to people that you need to be aware of the manufacture date of any tire before you buy them. Tires can still be very new. And if you install them, if they're already expired, as you are going, they are susceptible to burst.
It's a very important point you raise, and I think this is about safety, first of all.
Yeah.
Whether it was banned or not, it's important to also put out that message in that, okay, this is banned. Safety aside, this is banned, and we can now say, as a result of safety and other issues. So the messaging is out there, and I think it's important for the government agencies responsible to come out on this one. But it's also interesting to know that what a lot of people are excited about is just jumping behind the wheels and driving. Once people buy their vehicles, it's a major testimony, forgetting sometimes that there are rules to this one. There's traffic rules, there's an act that sets up the FRSC, which you have to go through, and not a lot of people enjoy that. I mean, people don't even read manuals for appliances anyway, talk more of reading the laws.
Of the car.
Even of a car, right? And something came up recently, which I'd like you to clarify, and I've tried to look through the laws, but since we have you here, you're also the law, or at least a law enforcement, agent yourself. And it's about making calls while driving, particularly using Bluetooth. Vehicles come with, Bluetooth, options where you can just pick the call from the steering and talk. Some people use the earbuds while they're driving, or the earpiece. What does the law say specifically about calling while driving, particularly with Bluetooth? Because we know most people use Bluetooth. It would be obviously wrong to put your phone to your ears, but particularly with Bluetooth, especially the ones in the car.
It's an offense for you to make call or receive call while driving.
Even if you're picking
whether you use
with the car
iPod,
steering,
AirPod, whatever you want to use.
even with the vehicle speaker,
it will distract you. It will distract you.
How so?
You can be distracted because, driving needs 100% concentration. You use all your senses while driving. If you start talking, by the time you want to press or just a second distraction can cost you your life. A second. That's why we said it's not only the fine that will be marked. People are not talking of G10 for people that are doing all those kind of destructive things. That's what we're advocating now. So what if you are driving and you are cruising at 100 kilometers per hour? You cover about 27.8 meters in 1 second. And you are going at 100 kilometers per hour. And you know the size of our road, the width of our roads is about, let's say, the standard road is about 12 meters. If you lose concentration for 1 second, imagine where you will be. That is 27.8 away from the road. 1 second. That's why we want people to just try to get used in the idea of using phone while driving. Concentrate, drive when you're supposed to drive. And if you must make call, look for a safe place to park, make call. You know, at times when you are moving along this corridor, you see some vehicles, very sound vehicles, they will slow down. Or you know what's happening, they will start weaving, moving from one lane to another.
On the road, yeah.
Keep asking yourself, what is going on? Before you know what is happening, check the man is touching his phone.
So I want us to be practical, really.
Yes.
So there is holding your device while you're driving and looking at it. Outrightly, that is wrong, because obviously you're not focusing on the road.
Yes.
But I'm not talking about making a call with your device. Let's put the device aside. So you are holding your steering.
Yes.
And most vehicles, new vehicles, come with the option of picking the call just with the steering. You don't need to look even to the stereo or the screen. You could just pick the call, and then you still have your eyes on the road. Are you saying that is wrong?
Okay, how about the information that is being passed across to you?
You could be listening to the radio.
You may become emotional.
You could be listening to the radio and you get a sad news as well.
Well, it's possible.
Yes.
But phones, when you have to, radio, you don't need to talk back. But phone, you receive
you can respond to the radio. If you get a sad news, you can say, "Oh my goodness!"
You are not. You're only. How do you call it? Responding to yourself, not to anybody. You will not expect anything, just exclamation. So what I just want to tell you is that it is right. It is wrong for anybody.
Is that in the law?
Receive.
Is that in the law? Particularly picking the call with your Bluetooth. Still having your eyes on the road. Have you broken any law?
Traffic law. Do you know that it is in the law that you cannot smoke while driving? Are you aware? Are you aware that it's in the law?
This is about the calls now.
No, we may not. Don't let us be specific.
Right.
Anything that can distract your driving is against the law.
So it also means then that you shouldn't have passengers in the car when you're driving,
because they can distract you.
You may have passengers, but you are not supposed to be. You are supposed to be discussing. You're not supposed to engage in argument or discussion with them.
Mr. Farinloye, I think you are looking for attention this morning because
people will come for you.
Yes, I mean what I'm telling you. You don't need to talk to your passengers because some of them can do things that will irritate you and then can distract you too. When you are driving, you need 100% concentration.
Let's be clear, because I've looked through, and I'll be honest with you, I had to look through even the acts that set up the FRSC. I saw Section 10, Sub 4, that talked about in the exercise of the functions conferred by this section, members of the court shall have power to arrest and prosecute a person responsible, suspected of having committed any traffic offense. And it listed making or receiving calls while driving a vehicle is one of them. I need to say that. I saw that in the act. But we're talking about the practicality of this, really. If you say you can't talk to passengers, I mean, Mr. Farinloye, you probably speak to people while you're driving.
No, I'm not saying you should not speak with passengers.
You probably take calls when you're driving as well.
You don't get engrossed in discussion with passenger. You don't allow people to walk you up. When you are moving and you are talking, you are discussing, you allow. But some of them will even be arguing with you. Some of them will be abusing you. You don't need to. You must concentrate.
So you're telling me all the taxi hailing app drivers that they need. That is essentially what they use for their business.
That doesn't mean you cannot talk.
No, I'm saying that if you want to
I said don't get engrossed.
No, I'm talking about making phone calls. So you have to reach them to say, oh, this is where I am. Can you meet me here?
No.
Their business is phone based. So you're saying they can't even use their phone first. Talk more of making a phone call.
It is not allowed. It is not allowed. It said if the clause there is that if you must make call, you need to park.
Okay.
Look for a safe and park and make your call and continue your journey.
So, Mr. Farinloye, so this fellow, I'm glad Kade mentioned practicality. this fellow has to reach you, and you are at home, he is on the road, and you are directing him, take this left, take this right. So is he expected to park and take those instructions before moving?
Don't we have bus stops?
Mr. Farinloye, you are in Lagos.
Don't we have bus stops?
We are in Lagos.
Do you know that?
Now, it's not. We're talking about hailing cabs. We're not talking about bus stops here. There are some interiors, in this part of our country that, come on, you understand what I'm talking about?
I understand.
Yeah. Okay. Secondly, by that, are you essentially saying that the federal government, through the Standards Organization of Nigeria, should ban all vehicles that have the capacity to receive calls from coming into Nigeria?
No. There's nothing like that. If you want to ban vehicle, will you ban the use of phone? You cannot ban people from using phone.
So you're not understanding what I'm saying.
No. The vehicles that were designed...
The vehicles came with the capacity to pick calls and end calls.
You probably drive one of those vehicles.
It also has the capacity to increase the volume and decrease the volume while you are driving. While you are driving.
Yes.
So, if it is against the law, according to what you're saying now, that we should not use the phone while driving, and the car comes with that capacity, in order to deter people from doing that, shouldn't the federal government just outrightly ban those vehicles from coming into the country?
It's okay. Federal government now ban vehicles that are having cigarette lighter from coming into the country because we want people to smoke while driving.
Or to not smoke. We're talking about practical applicability of the laws.
Oh, well, the one thing is the law, another thing is the application. If you want to marry the two, you know there are no there are no exceptions to rules. There are no exceptions to certain rules. And if you want to look at it closely, when you say so things should be done, you know the truth of the matter. You're only trying to drag me along. I want to tell you that it is not safe for you to make call while driving. Whether you agree with me or not, whether in practice or in theory.
We get that point.
It is not right.
We agree
and for
with
you to say federal government should ban vehicles that come with that kind of device, it's not right. You can as well get to the bus stop without using your phone. You can park at the bus stop, make the call. I continue. I'm a public servant that's in charge of emergency services. Where there's a rescue, I promise that we will respond in 5 minutes. If you call me and I'm driving and I cannot pick that call, what is going to happen? Or if my call marshal is trying to talk to me and I'm not opportune to, what I need to do is I will look for a safe place. Okay, don't stop over. But when you say somebody should just, okay, you can do it once in a while. When you do it, nothing will happen. People will get used to it. I've seen somebody that was using phone for an hour while driving, just moving and talking all the time.
Clearly a lot of people will be arrested. But
so
what is the punishment?
The best thing is for us to preach against it.
What is the punishment?
To discourage people.
What is the punishment as we
use of phone while driving?
Yes.
I think it's about 4,000 naira.
4,000 naira?
Yes. Use of phone while driving.
While driving?
Yes. Or 6 months in jail.
Optional?
Yes.
Oh, fine. Oh, dear. So you heard it, and I know a lot of people will speak to this, but you said that safety is what you're looking out for.
It's paramount.
It's even in your name, the Federal Road Safety Code, essentially.
Safety is paramount.
Okay. Nigerians, let us know what you think about this.
Oh, most certainly, because I'm just trying to look at famous X now. No one is talking about it yet, but you can be sure.
Are we all culprits?
We're going to talk about this. Corps Commander Babatunde Farinloye, he is the sector commander for the FRSC in Lagos State Sector Command. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank
you.
Really
appreciate it.
Merry Christmas once again.
Yes, Merry Christmas. So we are back right after now to take on others in the spirit of the season. Just stay with us.
Indeed, we're still in the spirit of Christmas. Today is Christmas Day, and here in our Abuja studio, we have a right and left honorable who is very soon going to change. He's going to court, right? He said so. He was going to go to court to do swear an affidavit. He wants to change his name. Yes, but for now, he's right and left honorable. I want to get that name very well. Dan the Humorous. Right and left honorable. What's it?
Usually with our right and left honorable Dan.
Okay.
For now.
Right and left honorable Dan.
Yes, until we swear the new affidavit.
He's going to swear an affidavit to change all of that.
Yes.
But Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, first of all. Good morning to you, Nyota. Good morning to Lady Bokwe.
Please,
this is
madam,
your studio.
Madam,
madam. Yeah, when I saw this, I said, "Oh, you're doing Flower Girl after now."
You see, I was wondering.
Christmas.
When I saw Mark coming with the fascinator, I was wondering when the men wear their fascinator, it looks like you're wearing yours already.
Exactly.
Let's find out from Lagos who is wearing a fascinator there as well. Lagos?
Well, it just so happens that music meets comedy this morning. As for the fascinating fascinator, we'll come to that some other time. Who do we have here this morning?
Okay, we have Mike Abdul. Mike Abdul is a gospel musician. It's good to see you, Mike.
Thank you. Good
and
to be here.
Right next to him is Bethel Njoku, senator, a comedian. Almost sounds like Bethlehem.
Oh, do you want to call him the normal way, on the streets?
I see where this is going.
I know. He's the only one.
Gentlemen, good to have you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
What is this Christmas like? I'll begin with Mike. I mean, you're a musician, gospel artist, and I think music has done very well for Nigeria's image abroad.
Yes,
but let's talk about Christmas. What has this Christmas been for you?
Well, I think for me, it's time to just enter into gratitude mode. All right? Share love as much as possible, reach out to people, reach out to loved ones. Although it's not been really, really like, because really, people are treating this Christmas like it's their birthday. Everybody's saying, send me money, send me money. So it's looking like, it's the birthday of Jesus, can you calm down, please, But it's actually time to just enter gratitude mode for me, honestly, and prepare joyously for the coming year.
Senator?
Yeah.
I mean, senators enjoy, so I imagine that the Sakma don't reach your side.
That's a very deep assumption. For me, Christmas is quite routinal. Most times in Nigeria now, they use the Christmas to judge the economy, if the government is doing well or not. This period, my village people asked if I was coming home. And I said to them to come to Lagos.
Which of the village people? Because there are different categories of
my village.
The real village
people?
Yeah,
the real village people. I told them, try and visit Lagos for once in your life. It's not a bad thing to do.
Since there's free train.
Yeah, there's free train, 50% transport. Yeah. So, well, for me, Christmas is very personal, if you decide to. Don't go with the whole charade of, we are celebrating, making noise, blowing bangers here and there. I just think that is the period you also calculate to say in the past 11 months, this has been your activities, and winding down into a new year is something of some conscious reflection. That is it for me.
Isn't it interesting that from time to time, Mike would relate with this, perhaps, I don't know if you can as well, that they have actually made this season siblings. One is the younger celebration, one is the older celebration, or rather the smaller celebration or the bigger celebration. That's what some people say from your side of Nigeria.
So which one is smaller?
Odukekere, Odunla, and all those things.
Yes.
You know about that.
Yes.
Which one is which one for you?
I think they are both huge, really. For those of us who are Christians, Christmas, in fact, funny enough, Christmas don't go beyond the Christians or Christianity. It's beyond the religion, honestly. I think it's just the time, opportunity for you to just please, can you just stop work and start celebrating? You know,
you're not talking to us,
January,
obviously,
right?
As journalists.
Obviously not.
He's talking to himself. I know, right? Even senator will be talking to himself
because all of you work as well. Merry Christmas.
So I think it's just that time where you just want to please, can you just calm down? It's not, Christmas is just one day again. It's like a season. It's like a period. It's like, you understand what I'm saying? So you take it from now till the new year, and then prepare for what you want for yourself in the new year.
Okay, my Senator, sir, let me ask you this humorous question, for want of a better word.
Yeah.
Do you think we should separate Christmas and New Year so that we can have, each one of them will have its value?
Yeah, no, you don't even need to put a timetable to it. Once the schools resume, you separate the year according to how it affects you. By that I mean, when school fees of the children is demanded from you, then you will know that you are over Christmas period. It is time to start the year.
But you receive the bill before Christmas. You receive the bill before Christmas.
That's what we're saying. You cannot explain that to the schools when they start sending you those white documents they send and say, sir, it's a new year.
Okay. I know they want to take Dan the humorous on that, but let me ask him, Dan, so do you agree with Senator here when he says that, you know, let's separate Christmas, that life separates the New Year and Christmas for you when you have to pay school fees? Do you think it should be separated too?
Good morning, Lagos people, and of course, my very good friend, Senator. I know he's surprised seeing me in Abuja because we were supposed to be somewhere yesterday. Indeed, Christmas and New Year should be separated.
But they are separated now. One is 25th.
No, people like to fuse the thing. And then just like Mike said, they will not be doing the Christmas as if at the year end. You understand? As if if we don't do this Christmas. So some people are worrying me, okay, I got my Christmas. I say, wait, New Year they come. New Year is coming.
No,
you understand?
That they've been separated.
No, some people, okay, no, but you see, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Why are you putting in the same sentence? Wish Merry Christmas, keep one side. Then bring Happy New Year, keep on the other side. But like Senators, the school fees will remind you that it's New Year. You understand? And for some reason, January has 72 days. So you will just know that, we have entered this year. Indeed, it's very new. You know, but it's a beautiful thing. By the way, this studio is fine. In Assassination now, they feel like a gubernatorial candidate. You understand? I just feel like promising my state things. As I just sit down here, I just feel like I just feel like promising them things that as you hear now, AC for everybody in your house, free gen, free water, you know. Now I know.
Like saying that the environment makes them promise all of
now I know why these politicians come here and make promises. As you sit down here now, Rivers people are in trouble. If they know that I promise them as I sit down here,
please.
They will not believe it.
But you're not the governor.
That's as I sit down here. If you know what they hungry me to promise my state, in fact, to promise Nigeria, now I know why. I mean, wondering why these people promising all this promise will not go see anything. Now this chair they cause up. When they sit down here, the coziness of this studio like this, you just begin to talk. You just begin to free education to PhD for 200 million Nigerians.
And then when you come out,
and when you come outside, now be like, hey, what did I do?
That sounds like Christmas and New Year. When you finish all the celebration on Christmas,
thank you.
What did that happen?
You know, but you see, people forget the real essence of Christmas, as it were, which is, for Christians, celebrating the entry of the salvation package of redemption. And so Christmas is basically what we do all year. Particularly for Christians, again, you're shouting Jesus from morning till night, you're praying in Jesus' name, you're listening. Now they born with them, born and be this. So you not do as if if I not do Christmas, my body no go this thing. But I like the fact that Nigeria is now straightening themselves. I saw a post on social media. Somebody said, I'm not seeing any post of 2024 is my year. It's like you people are learning your lesson now. So everybody just entering the year calmly. 2020 taught us a lesson. Everybody entered 20. As 2020 day, 2020. Say, this is my year of scoring 2020. 2020 vision. Everything shall be clear. 2020 vision. COVID came. So now after 2020, everybody they humble. Entering the new year, God go help us. God just enter quietly, no like problem.
Someone said for him in his house, what they do is they play Christmas music every day. Because it's like you use the word entry of the salvation package.
Yes.
So for him, it's like every day. So they play Christmas music all year round.
That guy understands. He understands the gospel. Yes. And it's also wisdom. Because I play music every day now. The rice and everything he's supposed to buy this week, he has spread it out throughout 52 weeks.
Yeah.
So children that are expecting Christmas cloth, January he will buy sandal. February he will buy handkerchief. March he will buy top. April he will buy trouser. July he will buy socks. So by December, no pressure. That your guy I'd like to be like that guy.
The wise man.
He's a wise man.
One of the three wise men, perhaps. But really, I mean, now that you people mentioned it, I really wonder, assuming Christmas was not in December, and it was any other time of the year, because, I mean, listening to some of the respondents there in Lagos, some of them saying that this is gratitude mode.
Yeah.
You enter that time of reflection when you think about how you've really been seen through the end of the year, till the end of the year. Yeah. So I really wonder, do you think that this would have been different? Because we also see that there are some other places where they're not celebrating Christmas now. Orthodox Christians will celebrate another time, Do you think it would have been really different if we were celebrating as another, maybe mid-year, for instance?
It probably would have still been big, but there's something that comes with the end of the year. Because naturally, the end of the year, I mean, we've come to a milestone, in our biological clock, so to speak. So it's something worth celebrating. Then the fact that Christmas, is just around the corner, or fixed around the corner a week before the new year. So it's like, okay, I mean, 2 holidays in one. It's just like maybe the Americans and their Thanksgiving in November. It's November, the 11th month, but it's like the biggest holiday for them. You have other parts of the world where they have other holidays and religious activities, different times of the year, but it's big. You have big travel, big tourism, big spending, and all of that. So I feel like the essence of Christmas in itself, no matter when it will be placed or when it could have been placed, the celebration would still have been, as big as we're having it. So coupled with the new year close to it now, then,
it makes it even bigger.
Double package.
I'm wondering, sorry, Nyota, I'm just wondering also, the entertainment sector, I was the only one who greeted you people this morning. But then Nyota didn't. They were greeting all the essential workers, which is fair enough. But I remember those who work in the tourism sector, those who, the entertainers.
Why would we these guys use this season to milk us.
Who milk you? FIRS, they watch this program. Nobody milk anybody, please.
I remember to greet you people especially. So, but tell us, usually this season, it's supposed to be a season. Well, there's a lot. There's the economic aspect of it. We cannot dismiss it. While some people are lamenting about the prices of things, but other people are cashing out. Do you think that has it affected? Because we know that the economy has been a bit tough. Is it affecting how this season is also playing out for people who would normally? This should be their own season.
Oh, yes. I mean, the economy affects practically everything around us. And, zeroing it down to our subsector, it has, because, at this time of the year, you have mostly corporate organizations, businesses celebrating the end of the year, celebrating Christmas parties, celebrating, basically for the holidays, And because they are not making as much as they should make as a business, they can't spend as much as they should spend for celebrations. But however, they will celebrate anyway. So the guys that they're supposed to get for 100 naira, they're saying, look, we can't pay you 100 naira, we can pay 75 naira, we can pay 50 naira. So the guy who is supposed to earn 100 naira has no choice but to accept 50 naira, 70 naira in some cases. If you are the person that, oh no, my price is 100 naira and that's it. If you were supposed to have maybe 10, 15 bookings for that 100 naira, you're only having maybe 4 or 5 people who can, afford you. So definitely it's not entirely balanced like that, but, how man go do, half bread is better than full puff puff. So we hold the one we hold. But at least it's been good. It can get better. It could get better. We've seen, to an extent, better days, so to speak. And we wish that things will, get better instead of looking like it's getting worse. It's not as bad, though, but it's supposed not reach like this.
Let me take this question to Mike and Senator. Two of you can weigh in on this. I mean, when Mike came in, talked about entering the mood of gratitude, I thought he would have started out with pelting out one of those his notes about Christmas, but he's waiting. I guess he's waiting for closing moments to pelt out his Merry Christmas tunes. But Senator, you said something about your village people. I was wondering whether it's the village people from Bangladesh or the ones from Isukwato or you didn't know Indiko. Which one are we talking about now?
Well, I think you are on track. Because you are speaking, knowing that I'm an expatriate, partly an expatriate of the country, Bangladesh. But I'm talking about the village, the very village people that you know in Nigeria. Those are the ones I was addressing to. So
did they get 50%? Did they get the 50% discount?
I've been seeing a lot of them fight, though. They go to the bus park. The boss say they don't know what thing they talk about. There's no 50% anything. Not be small fight that they fight since. So even because there are people that the government can liaise with. You can liaise with those ones, the very stationary parks. You know what they call along. You know along.
They call them sole.
Sole, yeah. So those ones, that's where the big fight is. You join along and on your way you say, government say 50. Hey, my brother, you go spend that Christmas for where they go not put you for one police station. It's been crazy. It's not easy.
Well, I don't know. Dan was talking about the impact on the economy and everything.
Yeah.
Has that also caused a review in the prices of comedians?
You didn't add Mike to it.
Comedians first.
She's laughing. That's a good joke.
To be very candid, the companies don't need to do a review for you. They will only tell you, we'll get back to you. If you have sense, you have to get back to them before they think of getting back to you. It's not been easy. There has been some shake-up, but as the environment is, one of the greatest abilities is the ability to adapt.
Absolutely.
Adaptability is highly key at this point in time. So I think that's what we're also facing.
And something just hit me as you were speaking. I remember that in 2017 you did Fuji Christmas.
I did.
It was in 2017 or
yes,
thereabouts.
2017, yeah.
You see, some people know your music even more than you. They're big fan. And it just shows how we've been able to Nigerianize of sorts, like own these things. So we know the Christmas carols, the winters, the Jack Frost and all of that. We don't have that here. So we essentially have been able to own this. And I'm seeing a lot of people doing Christmas their own way. So instead of the usual Christmas tree, they look for an equivalent of that, or don't even use a Christmas tree at all. Instead of a chicken, they get maybe small fish and stuff like that. So, speak to that, because it looks like that's what you were probably thinking of doing Fuji Christmas. Have you seen Nigerians adapt well? What would you speak about our adaptability that he talked about?
Yes, I think honestly we're not doing badly, and if we own it, it's just better for us instead of trying to look like who we are not. Right? So it becomes very difficult for us, and you see people complaining because they feel that, this is Christmas, this is what I must have, this is what I must buy, and all of that. But if you adapt, it's just better for you. I had to do Fuji Christmas because I got a call from a company to do a song in our own way. Now, they didn't really spell it out for me properly. They made it look like I was writing a new Christmas carol, and it was really difficult. I was writing and I couldn't get it. I was having headache, so I slept. So when I now woke up, they now called back and they said, no, the Christmas song we're talking about is in Fujio. 15 minutes, I was done right there. So we own it. It's a thing. We're here.
And it's really sold.
Oh, yes.
I think it's very important because your industry did more for Nigeria's image and you people as well, the entertainment industry generally. Some will say you did better than even the Nigerian government. The jury's out there. Did you agree with that?
Yeah, totally right.
Well, no, we're doing well. Actually,
entertainers have never promised anything they didn't deliver.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that
they don't even promise, they just deliver.
They just deliver.
Oh, my God.
So why don't you people go into politics then?
Well,
that's why he is senator. What are you talking about?
No, there's a senator and there's the senator.
do you know that some people, in the diaspora, don't even know who our president is? Not just this one, presidents. Do you understand? I remember back then, I was doing my tour in the UK, so I was on a train with my team, and then we were traveling, we were leaving Newcastle to some other place, I can't remember now. So the ticket master now saw that we were in a bulk of blacks, just in one unit. And he said, "Where are you people from?" We said, "We're from Nigeria." He said, "Do you know JJ Okocha?" Yeah. He said, "Do you know JJ Okocha?" We said, "Yes." And I said, "It's my brother." Your brother? I said, "Yes." And I said to me that there's a shop, a barbering salon, in somewhere, other Bolton there, yes, in Bolton, when he was playing Bolton.
Oh, yeah, he was in Bolton.
That when black people go and say they know JJ, that they give them a free haircut.
Wow.
So to this man now, this is Nigeria's image. Do you get what I'm saying? So the entertainers have gone so far in presenting Nigeria, in very unique styles. Talk about Wizkid, talk about Burna Boy, the Grammys and the rest of them, even the movie industry. Man, come on, we don't try. Try.
What do you need? I don't know if I should ask you what you need for Christmas as an industry, if I could ask that. Or what are you... Let me just leave it at that, really. What do you need to make this industry even bigger? Because, yes, we're earning a lot from entertainment, but we could even do way better. And people have said different things. So perhaps as a way to help the industry, because your industry is vital, not just for the money. You give people joy. Yeah. During the Depression in the US, it was Hollywood that people relied on to get them out of it, at least to give them something to cheer about. So if people can dance to your music, laugh to your jokes, down in Abuja as well, then at least if we don't have subsidy, at least we have something to jive to.
We can subsidize. No, there is no subsidy on laughter.
So what can we do as a government? I'm not government. You get the point.
I think much more enabling structure, actually. Structure that can really truly empower us. Structure where you can say that when I put this content here, I will expect this at the end. I need to truly happen, For now, we don't have that kind of enabling environment. And individually, our people are really trying, building our individual structure to see to it that these things work. But we can do better with more enablement,
Okay. So, Senator... Okay. Mike Abdul, we have Dan the Humorous in our Abuja studio. You guys have made us laugh today, I must confess, and I think we're not paying you, right? This is free show.
Since I don't do free show for journalists, they are finished.
I'm going to put a headline for you.
It's going to be a free performance, so to speak, for Mike as well, but it would have been costly for him if he had to come with a band.
So these are some of the ways you try to adapt.
So he's going to be, doing a song for us. Thankfully, he has a performance track.
Yes,
okay, that there's such a thing that... No, not that one.
Not track. I think maybe we should hear from Dan first before we then come.
Does Dan want to sing?
Dan actually does a good one.
Dan, do you want to sing?
Well, I don't need to sing. I come from a state that has produced the only Grammy Award winner, and a state that has, season-to-season hit tracks. I'm sure you're aware of the new one now. You're not aware of the new?
There's a new one.
Before Mike Abdul comes, we have his long one from As It Sweet Us. The one we have now is Day Your Day.
Okay.
Make I day, my day. Okay. So, from Abuja, we day here. Lagos people make a day. Let Mike Abdul day his day with his music.
All right, well,
oh God,
guys, I guess we're gonna have to take it. Well, Marco, you've been asking for the singing. I don't know if we're ready with that one now, guys. So that Mike, what are you doing for us this time around?
I'll be doing a song called "This New Year." I featured.
It's next week.
It's next week, yes. So
Yes.
This the featured Ima, oh my God, on this one. So.
Okay, while we are getting you set, there's a message for us.
Oh, yes. Lots of tweets. I don't know if you call them tweets now, posts on X, because it's
Lots of
X. No, my wife did not hear that. No X at all. Just tweet. Let's keep it simple, right? Festive Akimboyewa has this one. Says, Merry Christmas to fellow Nigerians this holiday season. Even though things are tough in our beloved country, let us make room for this Christmas to be filled with love and cheer, and the new year be counted in God's blessings. Let everything that has breath praise the Lord.
You know, it reminds me of Lagbaja's song many years ago. Put a smile on your face, no matter condition. So no matter what the situation is, it is a season to be jolly.
Absolutely.
So if we are ready, do we want Mike to get going with this one? Okay, Mike to get the mic. But while we're at that, I want to take a moment to say thank you for the privilege of being a part of your morning. It's Christmas Day. Let's do ourselves a favor. If you can't visit, call. A video call, thankfully, you can have a community and just greet. That one, there is no subsidy on it. So I think that one is there. Well, I've had fun, and our guests here have also been with us here. Mike Abdul is a musician. Senator Bethel Njoku, thank you. How did that come out, right? Thank you so much. Guys in Abuja.
Well, I like the fact that you called him like the village man that you are, Bethel Njoku.
That's fine.
So R&D is all good. We don't know yet. But Peter Dasit may want to thank you again. Dan the humorous, thank you. Right and left honorable.
Yes. I didn't know Abuja Christmas was this serene.
Now you know.
Lagos all are they manage for this.
Don't worry, we'll see soon.
I'm not coming back.
There you go.
Thank you, right and left honorable. And thank you all for letting us be a part of your day, this Christmas day. Please, as I said, go out there, be good, be kind, be gentle, share the love, and please be your brother's keeper.
Very important.
Thank you. Merry Christmas once more. And Maokwe Ogun Yusuf, don't let anyone dull your shine this Christmas.
No,
Look at me.
Go get a fascinator somehow. Guys, go get one. You're wearing a fascinator. Over to you, Mike Abdul.
Well, as you can see, it's very, very red here. So, Mike, I think it's time to do the song.
Thank you.
And I don't think it's a song we should be doing seated, is it?
I didn't know.
So, let's go.
DJ, track 2.
Let's go. That's it.
Yeah, you can step forward.
We need backup dancers.
We need the backup, right?
Woo! All right now. My God, the Alpha Omega, the Lion is here. Come on. My God, the Alpha Omega, the Lion is here. Oh yeah, everybody is here. Oh, he's here. He's here. Oh, he's here. Emmanuel, Yobaye, Emmanuel, Yobaye. Everyone come around. Obligada, amigo. Adibiti, Rabagara, Batalibiti, Agabamajapa. Emmanuel, Yobaye. Oh yeah, Emmanuel, Yobaye. Oh yeah, Onibudo Iyanu sa. Kawa mi ma fon sale. Onibudo Iyanu. Iyanu tese lójoojúmọ́, thank you. Aye oh, ẹ ṣe ìtàn, ẹ fún mi láyọ̀ múnú mi dùn, ẹ ṣe ìtàn sà. Ẹ̀yin lẹ ṣe yí o, ẹ fún mi láyọ̀ múnú mi dùn, bàbá gbé mi tán. Onibudo Iyanu. Alábẹ́ ibi àṣàṣì. Onibudo Iyanu sà. Onibudo Iyanu sà. Hey, oh my God. Everybody, sing the praise. Join your voices together. Come on. That's why we call him Jesus. My God, the Alpha. Come on now. That's so. My God, the Alpha. Everybody. Oh yeah, everybody. Oh yeah, everybody. He's there. Oh, Benny Visa. Come on. Emmanuel Yoba. Emmanuel. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.